Welcome back to MKE Gadgets. In preparation for this video, I did a little research on YouTube and the internet, and I'm surprised no one has come up with anything like this. If you're like many people, you get your medication in these packs, they're foil backed, and it's a safety seal, keeps them dry, and kind of a safety seal for kids, but they're really hard to get the pills out. So I thought, well, today I'm gonna make a pill popper. So let's talk about how we're gonna make this. This was donated to the channel from my friend Mike. They're a bunch of industrial wheels. This will make a nice base. Do a little machining to this. Got a couple scrap pieces of aluminum that I gotta square up and shorten. But that's gonna bolt on there like this. It's gonna be a lot shorter. Gonna mill a slot in here. So you put the pills over it. This rod is W1 drill rod, and that will push the pill through the opening. For the hardware, I'm gonna use a couple 1/4-20 button head cap screws. Don't know how many I need or what size yet. A spring to return the action, and a golf ball. This is gonna go on top of that rod. This is what your hand is gonna push down to push the rod to push the pill through. So all these parts I've had laying around the shop. Golf balls I had donated. Springs I salvaged off of some device, don't know what. The only thing I bought was for a different project was a drill rod. Everything else I kind of had. So this project really isn't gonna cost me anything because everything's from the scrap bin. First thing I want to do is take these pieces of aluminum over to the mill, square them up, and decide how tall this needs to be. Now that's way too tall. I'm thinking something like that. All you have to do is be able to see the pill and get the rod over it and push it down. All right, to the mill. A funny thing happened on the way to the mill. I walked by my scrap box and I decided to replace this rectangle piece of aluminum with a hex piece of aluminum. I was looking for a round, but I didn't have any. I think I'm gonna mount this on the center of the hole, and then it can rotate around this disc. On the outside here, I'll have different holes for different pockets for different size and shaped pills. I'm still gonna use this piece as a beam. In a previous project, I broke a tap in there and I couldn't get it out. So a quick trip to the bandsaw, I'll cut this off, and I'll be back, and we'll mill this flat. With that a uniform size, I'll deburr it. I'll leave this edge saw cut till I decide what the overall length is going to be on this. I'll open up this hole for a 1/4 inch bolt, and that will bolt on top of here. I'm going to take this aluminum hex over to the lathe. I'm going to turn it down so it fits inside of here, and then I'll come up with some kind of counter bore to hold the fastener. So I shortened this bar a little over 3 inches. And I might shorten it again, but I just need some place to start. Face this end off. I'm going to turn this diameter to the diameter of the hole in that puck, and I'm going to drill and tap that 1/4-20. That fits on there real nice. I'll face this end off and drill that for a 1/4-20 bolt off camera. So with the tower just about done, I gotta decide on where I'm gonna drill my 5/16 hole for the push rod. This is gonna be the bottom side of the puck. I want to counter bore this 3/4 inches so I can get this washer in there. I have a 3/4 inch 2-flute end mill. I'm gonna go down about a 1/4 inch. We'll see if that sits in there flush. And it sits in there nice and flush. I'll screw that bolt in there and we'll see how we're doing. With that tightened up, it's looking pretty good. So next I gotta determine where I'm gonna put my rod. I don't want to have it too close to the center here. I want it outside a little bit. So if we take that pill and kind of center it right at that dot. I'll drill that out 5/16 off camera and we'll come back and see how we're doing. Well, all the parts are made. The aluminum parts I took over to the drill press, a little engine turning on them. It kind of hides the scratches and blemishes in the aluminum. So let's assemble this. Let's start from the bottom. There's the counter bore in there for the washer. Lock washer. 1/4 inch bolt. It's kind of nice, 1 Allen wrench. You can take this whole thing apart and put it together. Now I reamed this hole so the rod would slide in there nice. 1/4 20 button head cap screw. And that screws in the tower real nice. Give that a tighten up. Now you gotta line it up so it's in line with the slot. Kind of look down there, you can see it lines up pretty good. And here's our golf ball pusher. Spring for return. One final check on alignment. That looks pretty good. So just take your pill, center it over the rod. And there it is. Let's try one more. Just take your pill, center it over the rod. And it pops out. There you go. This was a fun little project. All pieces of stock I had laying around, the hardware I had laying around. So there was really no cost at all, just my time. So this is MKE Gadgets. I really appreciate your taking your time out of your day and viewing my video. Please support my channel by subscribing if you haven't, and click the bell. That way you get notifications of all my videos. I try to put a new one out every Wednesday. Thanks, we'll see you tomorrow.